Hey friends, welcome back to the Web Technology video learning series. I hope you have been enjoying your lessons so far. We have covered various fundamentals of HTML so far. Today we have taken up another topic, which is how do we put pictures in a HTML page. The pictures are typically called images. That's a more appropriate technical term. That is how we call them in HTML. So today we'll learn about how to put images in a HTML file. So on your screen you have various examples of how pictures are displayed in different web pages. I have taken some pictures from some representative websites and they are there on the screen for you to see. There is almost no website that does not use pictures today. Why? Because pictures are very important and very um, uh, unambiguous way of communicating information. They say one picture is worth 1,000 lines of text because we can clearly communicate things with a picture that would otherwise require lot of effort in putting things to words. So we need pictures. I mean, almost any book that we see, we prefer that book if it has some pictures for us to illustrate what is being presented via text, right? So pictures are unambiguous part of our text these days. Almost every website uses pictures. Now, so far, we have not learned how to put pictures in our HTML. We will learn that. It is very simple. However, let's understand little bit about pictures. Even though we say pictures or images, there are different kinds of pictures or images that are there supported by browsers and clients and on the operating systems and so on and so forth. Depending on the type of the picture, the quality and the size of the picture will vary. Why is it important? Because if the picture quality is not very good, then whoever sees the picture on our web page will not get a nice feeling. They say, oh, this is a bad picture, bad image. They don't like it. On the other hand, if the quality is very good, but if the picture size is too big, then it takes quite a bit of time for the picture to come from the server to the client. So people experience noticeable delays in the pictures appearing on the web pages. So there is always a trade off. What are different kinds of pictures that we have? Without really getting into a lot of technical details or jargon, there are roughly two kinds of pictures. One, which is a raw image, where the picture size is very huge, but all the aspects of the picture are captured within the picture, which means that the quality is very high, but the size is also very high. BMP is one standard type of image, which is a raw image. When I say BMP, I mean the type of the picture, and most operating systems use this as the file name extension. The second type of images are called compressed images. What is a compression? The compression is a way or an algorithm that is run on the raw picture to reduce the file size. So if you run a compression algorithm, then there are techniques with which the file size can be reduced. Do we lose the quality? Yes, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So the compression algorithms or the compressions of pictures are again two types. Compressions which lose the quality, compressions which do not lose the quality. So they are called lossy and lossless picture compression algorithms. Okay. not necessary to have a lot more details on this. But if ever you see a PNG picture, assume that at this point that may be one of the higher quality pictures types that are out there. Now PNG pictures can also support transparency. But they are also big in size. Sometimes we see JPEG pictures which are very good in quality. They don't support transparency, but they are of decent quality, more than decent, I would say. And then there are animated pictures and so on and so forth. Just for you to be aware, so that when you are linking a picture on your web page, you should know exactly what is the size and what is the quality you are getting. Okay. Now back to our HTML. How do we put a picture on a web page? The answer is simple. It is with a IMG tag. What is an IMG tag? IMG tag is a HTML tag that is used to put a picture on a HTML file. Are we really putting a image inside a file? Actually, technically speaking, we are not. We are only referring to an image through the IMG tag. Now the client or the browser knows that we are trying to put a picture by when it looks at the IMG tag, and it goes and checks with the server for the image. It gets the image, and then together with the text it renders on the screen, so that we don't really see the difference. But technically within the HTML file we are only referencing a different image. Now how does the IMG tag get used? On the screen is a very simple example. IMG is a tag and SRC is an attribute that tells the picture name. Acharya.jpg is the picture name that I am using in this example. It's a very simple example, right? You should immediately now say IMG tag doesn't have a beginning tag and an ending tag. Yes, you're right. It is an empty tag or it is an unpaired tag. It works only with attributes. So the attribute that is of importance to us is called SRC, and the value for this attribute should give the proper URL for the picture. In our example, we have taken acharya.jpg, which, if you have remembered the relative links and links lesson correctly, this is a relative reference to the file called acharya.jpg within the same folder where the HTML file is located. Okay, so as I said, when browser looks at this IMG tag, it knows that it is referring to a file, a separate file, acharya.jpg. It goes back to that server, asks for that file, and then gets it and then displays it. Let's look at a slightly more involved example. This is the same, except that there is a new attribute called ALT. What is an ALT attribute? ALT attribute stands for alternate text. If for whatever reason the picture cannot be displayed, then instead of the picture, whatever text is provided as a value for the ALT attribute is what is shown to the user. Why would I not show the picture and why would I show just the text? There may be reasons why the picture may be too big and it is taking time. Therefore, while the picture is coming from the server to the client, the browser will show the text in the interim. There are text-only browsers which do not show pictures because they want to optimize the amount of time that is taken to render a page. They don't show pictures at all. In those cases, the text-only browser will show just a placeholder with the appropriate text that is there as part of the alt attribute. Then I have a slightly more involved example. It's trying to show the same picture, acharya.jpg. It has the alt text also, but here you have two new attributes, width and height. What happens if we specify these and what happens if we don't specify these? If we don't specify them, then the picture, whatever is coming from the server back to the browser, has a certain height and a width. It may be too big, it may be too small. A browser makes best efforts to show the picture in its original size. Sometimes it may not be very good because we may be referring to some pictures which are not to the size that we want. So when it shows the picture in its original size, then a lot of our text may get jumbled up. It may look bad and ugly. So we want to restrict how big the picture is going to be when it is rendered on the screen. So we use the width attribute and we use the height attribute. So these essentially say that the picture cannot go more than 500 pixels in wide and cannot go more than 600 pixels in height. If the picture's original size is more than this, then it will be reduced in, if you will, it will get smaller to the size that is specified with width and height parameters. Okay, so these are typical usages of image tag. We don't even need to look at the width and height these days because most of the formatting for images is actually coming through CSS. We would rather prefer the CSS to style our images, including width and height. But then we need to know these attributes because they are supported in HTML. One last example where the src is not referring to a local file or a relative file, but it is having an absolute link or absolute path or a wholly qualified path, as they say. So the src is giving a complete path to a picture on the server, which is kamakoti.org. Okay. Now what happens when browser says this? When browser says this, it knows that it has to get this file called home_devi.jpg, and that file is available on the server kamakoti.org. So the browser immediately tries to make a connection to that kamakoti.org server and tries to get that file. If the server gives that file, then the browser will display it. If the server does not give, or if there is no internet available at that point in time, then just the alt text will be displayed. Okay, so these are img tag examples. Key things to remember: img tag is a unpaired tag. It does not have any text beginning and ending tag or anything in between them. It is an unpaired tag. Second, whatever is important for img tag is specified via the attributes. The most important attribute is src. We can change the width or the height through the appropriately named attributes, width and height. And last is we are not actually putting a picture inside the HTML file. We are only giving a reference to a file through the img tag and the src attribute. It is the browser that shows the picture together with the text on the screen. Okay. Now let's look at a very simple but a complete example. On the left hand side is a simple HTML file that is using a img tag. On the right hand side is how it is rendered on a regular browser. Line number 5 shows the usage of img tag. This is the same example that we have seen in the previous slide. So the rendering is shown on the right hand side. Just for formatting purpose, I put a h1 tag and a horizontal ruler above and below the image so that it appears nicely. Okay, there is lot more formatting that can be done that we'll learn when we go to CSS. That's all we have in today's class. I hope you have enjoyed the class. Images are very important part of HTML, and images are also very important part of communicating what we want along with the text. So now we have learnt lot of text formatting, tables, lists, bullets, all that stuff. We have learned links and we already started using them in images today. In our next class, we will learn about forms, or at least we'll try to start on with the forms and then see how to get the user input back to the server. Until then, thank you.